Nope. Throw whatever floats your boat. And we will judge you accordingly. Very harshly.
I feel like I pulled it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Couple more. Keep going.
Parker, where are you standing and where are you looking? Where are you looking?
15.
So, do you drift? Right?
Let's go into king.
Right. If you drift to the left, otherwise you go straight. Alright, come on. So assuming you don't drift, then you slide up. And I'm looking at 15. Look where my body has to be pointed so that I can form a straight line with 15. So that like when I go to target, I'm like facing lane 32. Right? I'm facing like this. Like I'm left side dominant, so my left hand, it's going like into the left hand gutter at the end of the lane of lane 32. So anytime you try to hit that target, it's going to get really far right, really, really fast. So you're going to get it to drive really quick and overhook. Right? So that's really good if they're like tight and there's like a hook spot down there and you're bowling on like 45 feet or 40 feet or something and there's like a ton of oil. But when there's like nothing but dry out there, you can't get it there that fast. So if I'm playing 28, on a house shot, my break point's probably going to be like 8, 9, maybe 10. I'm going to bring my eyes. I'm going to stand on 28. I'm probably going to hit like 19. Right? Because I'm trying to create like a straighter ball path so that I don't have to feel like I have to like throw it at the friction. Your rev rate's high enough that you don't need that help like to get it to hook. You want to like use the oil to create length so that you can create the back end carry. If you get it to the dry too quick, it's either going to overhook or it's going to like burn up and really flat and like a flat right? So try the same shot standing in the same place and just move your eyes in for like 19 to 20 and try to hit like 8 or 9 down lane. That's why I think the torch will be like a good tool for like archery. See, you might not have like hit exactly your target, but the ball's not going to overhook, and you're going to have like I didn't really get to see it. It's like execution-wise, like the one where you hit like 15 and got it out early, it's really okay. But like if you keep moving left and keep your eyes there, you're like never gonna strike, or you're gonna start like overthrowing it back in.
That was a pretty good shot.
Like keep it simple so you can see your eyes and back like that.
He's got a.
Well, other than
Gets out of the way. Gets out of the way quick.
Where
He's got to get out of the way quicker.
Oh, his hips.
Yeah.
Everybody says this girl looks like me.
I don't see it.
Elmer Fudd?
No, I
Huh?
want to That's what it's
Charlotte. No. There's a girl who weighs like 2 pounds. It's like this.
What are you talking about?
No. I'm just. She weighs like 3 pounds, 4 ounces. You!
Talking about you.
I weigh a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, okay.
Definitely haven't reached me or B's weight.
My arm weighs more than you.
There you go.
Actually, that's looser. His swing is much looser on that one.
That was a really good shot. So like the one you hit.
I like that one.
Let him coach.
Huh?
Parker won't listen to you.
No, Parker listens. There's certain, as we,
Yeah, I know.
sometimes we split them up so that, so sometimes see, if you get so used to hearing one person all the time, you hear another perspective and it actually will kind of bring it in. But he's more release type stuff and I'm more from the foul line back. So you can see right here, he just gets out of the way too. So his crossover step's got to go this way, and his hips are too square as he's going into that first step. So what's got to happen is you get here, you're either going to swing the ball out or you're going to just kind of push your leg out of the way. Okay? Okay. Or if you can get your crossover step that way, you can get your hips open a little bit, then you're going to you'll be out of the way quicker, and you won't have to pull because if you force yourself out of the way, you're probably going to pull it down. You accelerate.
It's cold here. What the fuck? I come down on this
I
side.
told you it was cold. I'm not gonna. I will tell you later what I was gonna say because I don't want it on Parker's.
You already told me what you said.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying again.
There you go. That was a good shot.
But if you take that and get him in better body position, he's actually can get around it a little bit more.
So now off that, are you still just kind of like this, where you're like using your own release? Try to get around it just as much. So like that medium release we talked about.
Got to get his crossover step. He doesn't. So the pink ball kind of swings out. It has no choice. He's getting out of it a lot better.
That was really good. That ball was probably like a touch away. Anything between a little. Like getting out of between.
Yeah, you got to also pay attention to the other parts of your, because what you tend to do is you work mostly on release. You got to work on some of the other aspects. It'll actually make you get into a better position for a better release. Where the release work is good, you gotta start paying attention to the other stuff. One before that. It's a little bit looser, and a little bit more smooth. Where this one here, you can actually see a visible acceleration. It's because in your approach, Watch. So here's your approach here. For one, you have high backswing. You want to really get the ball into play a little bit earlier. That's another thing. But here, so you're kind of in the way. You're going to see either your ball's got to go out this way, or you've got to move your leg out of the way. Incidentally, both happens. You move your leg in, swing the ball out, back, and then you have to control it to the down. So along with some of this thing that I mean, the information you get is really good that you're getting from him, but we need to add on to that so you can actually do that more effectively. So what I want you to do, okay, yeah. So the big thing, we want to make sure that, so when you take your step with this step, okay, what you want to make sure is that your hips are slightly open. And so remember how you're moving your leg out of the way? We're going to do that early. So what's going to happen as you're taking your step, you're going to step and put the ball out in front of you, and you're going to step and make sure that you're not doing this. So you're going to put it out in front of you because you know you want to swing here, so you're going to put it to the top of the shoe. So this is a little shoe. You got to put it in the top, and you're going to let it drop through. But if you do that, you've got to get this out of the way. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it to the top, and you're going to step in like this. See how my hips are still pointing that way? And you're also clearing away, so if I'm here, I'm stepping slightly inside of it so I can actually bring it straight back. Instead of here and then kind of bending your leg into it. Okay? So you're going to push forward, you're going to step slightly inside of that. And your hips are going to be pointing this way. When you step, you got to make sure you step and point that toe that way so that you can actually get that there, okay? Open your hips slightly. Open this one. Just your hips, not the ball. The ball, yeah. Okay, so you're going to push forward. You're going to step slightly inside of the ball there.
With my left foot?
Yeah, with your right foot.
With my right foot.
Yeah, so you go 1, and then you're going to go. So the left foot, the ball doesn't do anything. Yeah, not that far. Just think of the heel, kind of in. So your heel is going to be slightly in front of that toe. Okay, so you want to be here that you can actually keep your hips going that way. And by keeping your hips this way, you're actually pushing everything out of the way. Where if I'm doing this, I'm still kind of in the way. So you're doing this, you're trying to, okay? And that'll clear that area here. Yeah, and that's what it's going to do. But now your ball's going to be swinging faster. So now you've got to not pull it down, otherwise the ball's going to really increase. So you can see right here, your backswing got even higher. So you just got to make sure that you're a little bit looser. But you can see right there at the beginning, so you're here. So if the ball comes straight down, it's out of the way. And it's more underneath your head. Okay? And your hand is more like that. Okay? And now you can just let it. So that's actually pretty good. But you see how you added a little bit extra? So instead of going this way, you actually hold it so it goes that way instead of that way. So everything was perfect up until right there. From here, then you kind of, and now, so that way it didn't really go right. You actually pulled it to the left. Okay? So do the same thing, but you got to wait for it. Let it roll off your hand. Okay? Yeah, don't kick my camera. What is wrong with you? I was about to say, and don't say tacos, because that just doesn't say enough. But just it's gonna be more obvious when she doesn't buy you anything. She's gonna say, "How about that for obvious?"
The answer to that is Ruby got 30. Not Ruby, Larissa.
Larissa got 30?
Isn't that what you said?
Oh, I don't know. I probably said something like that. But you see how it just frees everything else up. Your mom's. Oh. Huh? Oh, me? Five-layer burrito. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin probably. Kevin, I don't know. Where's Kevin?
What's wrong?
No, I just wondering. A couple of Mexi melts.
What?
They're called Mexi melts. They're like really small. It's like a soft taco that's melted. Yeah, Mexi melt. Yeah, get a couple of those. And he'll be happy. Okay, so let everything happen. Just remember, you had to force it to happen. Now, if you can see, you don't have to force it to happen. It happens automatically. So you're just going to have to let the bulb just drop. Okay? So you don't have to go because you're getting out of the way, so you can just let the bulb just drop. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to get everything back in time. Because the fact that your backswing is so high, when you push it, it's got to be lower than this. So I want you to just kind of. So what you're going to do is you're going to push it here, and you're going to step slightly inside of it. So you're going to be. Okay. That way we can get to the top of the swing faster. Because what's happening is it's really high here. So as you step forward, you're going to have to kind of pull it down. Okay. So we're going to get it. So as you step in, you're going to go. And then, but you're not going to press it here and pull it. What you're going to do is you're going to. Okay. Instead of this, you're going to be. And you're going to step inside of it. Okay.
Make more of like an backward skate type thing, or push it forward rather than out front.
Yeah, instead of here, you're going to be lower. Okay. Because we need to get to the top of the swing faster, so that when you go to step, the ball's on its way down. Because right up here, it's getting up there, and then when you take your step, it's still up here. You've got to pull it down. That's going to make you really kind of grab into it. You just got to start freeing up because you don't want to over accelerate the bottom of the swing. That's what you've been kind of. Whenever you work on a release, that's what you start doing. You start really over accelerating your swing. You just got to let it, snap through. Because when you do that, the ball, you don't have time to really create that flat spot. Okay, because you're really kind of rushing through the bottom of the swing. Okay, so you just have to let it happen. That's fine. Sorry, do it again. Do you feel yourself kind of? Yeah.
I felt my whole body.
Yeah, yeah. And the only reason is because now you're putting yourself in a better position to really feel. Where you had no choice. If you're in the way, you've got to control your swing everywhere. But if you let it free swing, every time something's out of position, you're going to feel it even more. So, okay, keep going. Okay, when you push, you're gonna push it and place it on here. Okay, you're gonna push down here. Get going. So you're gonna get it into the swing really fast because your swing is up here. So if you get up there late, when you take your step forward, it's still all the way up here. So what you want to do is get it in there. It gets to the top, and as you take your step, it does this. Okay, you have to do that if your swing's that high. Incidentally, it'll probably drop down by just getting in the swing a little bit earlier. Now you just have to let it drop down. So see how you're out of the way. It's usually where it is. It's pretty high. See right here, if you just let it kind of come through, if you actually slow it down, then you have time to get out of it. See, the problem is you're trying to work on your release, but you're trying to force it in such a small amount of time. There's no way you're going to be able to do it effectively. You know, you have to be able to make it so that you have time to really get out of it, where if you're here and you have to do it real quick, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to push it down lane a little further, a little bit too fast. That's why your ball rolls like this instead of really kind of getting up into its turn. Okay? So really, really kind of go in slow motion. See, we want to put you in a position where you can do the stuff that Alan wants you to do. So you've got to make sure by the time you get into your pivot step, one, you have good body positioning, and two, you allow the ball to drop straight from the top down. Okay, so that when you step forward, it gets here, and you have time to really manipulate the bottom of the swing. If you sit there and you accelerate the ball, you blow straight through the zone, and there's no possible way for you to turn it.
You understand what he's trying to get you to do with like getting out of the way and then like changing your timing? Like, so in theory, right? You want your ball to fall straight underneath your head, right? That's like, I don't know if you play baseball or anything like that, but you want to create like a line of sight. So wherever I look at, I hit, right? So when you were playing in and I took you to look at 19 and you kept hitting 16 or 17, right? There's a reason for that. Your ball was not straight behind your head in your backswing. It was a little to the left. So when it comes down relatively straight, but from this angle. So it's easier to feed it right. That's why, like, when you're playing straight, you have like a lot of trouble keeping it up the lane, and you like belly it to the right. So by getting your hip out of the way early, it causes your swing to start like straightening out. Because before, when your step was over here, your body had to route your arm around the hip. So that's what creates that, like, almost, it's not like too open, it's just like because it starts routing this way too soon, your swing ends up getting behind your head. So over here, your body won't have to do that, you can just let it swing. So that'll improve your accuracy. The other thing he's saying is like the timing. When you're like really late timing, so your body's getting to the line way before your swing, you have to pull down to accelerate because you're like, oh, my body's here and I want to maintain this leverage I've created. So you're like pull, trying to like maintain all that momentum. Right? So the more you can get it where your body and your swing come in at the right time to like maintain that momentum without forcing it. Does that make more sense? If it doesn't, like ask. Okay.
Your biggest problem is that over acceleration right there at the bottom. It just anything that you've created, it actually just kind of almost takes it away from you. So you have to at some point learn to be a little bit more patient with your swing.
That getting out of the way, like this, and changing your timing is like your first step towards that. Because it's hard to do it if your body's not in the right position.
Which is why we're having you do it. But, you know, really to understand the concept of really what we're trying to do, you've got to slow down your swing. Your swing speed's got to come down. It has to. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do effectively. So.
And the stuff he's saying, like timing and getting your hip out of the way, is again like the first step. Like being able to slow down that swing so that your feet are a little bit faster. Because your swing has to come later, a touch later than your body. If it comes before your body, you're going to fall off balance and you're going to not have any momentum. Because you're still like trying to move here while your swing's already like ball's gone. So all the momentum it builds up will be too stiff.
That's a tricky part of working on your release before you've actually worked on your approach, and that's where a lot of the other coaches that I you know come across. That's the problem I have a lot of them because they start working on that first, and the problem is that a lot of times they teach you, okay, you gotta do this, and you kind of force yourself into that position from wherever you are back here. And when you start doing it, that's when your swing starts to naturally accelerate, and that's what you learn to do. So you've learned to really accelerate the swing because you've been working on just your release for a while. Okay, and now we're trying to put your approach to it. But what happens is you're supposed to take some of that momentum, transfer it to your legs. But when we transfer it to your legs and you're still accelerating, your ball goes doubly fast, and the ball gets off your hand too quick. So, I mean, that's really what we're trying to do.
And it's really hard because like when you start like using your legs more and you start like pushing, like your natural inclination is like you want to like start like accelerating your arm also because you're like I'm speeding up. But that's just because you're not like used to the timing yet. Like that's going to be the biggest challenge is like creating the feel of being like it feels wrong, but I know it's right. So you have to like battle. That's like what's the most challenging part about like changing behavior. You have to like believe in the changes enough that you're like, all right, this is what I'm going to focus on. Otherwise, it's just like what I think about when I'm bowling. Like, because you do a lot of things right. Like, your release, especially for, like, how, like, where your body is really good. And you can manipulate it to an extent already. And just, like, think how much better you could be if you're, like, generating all that power with your legs and how much more consistent you're going to be if it starts, like, relaxing because your body gets in the right position. Like, you watch any of the Pro Bowlers? Like, Chris Barnes. It's like, arms, like, here. Yeah, it's more like here. Just like right behind his head, lots of spine tilt or enough spine tilt, and it just drops under his head. Marshall head. Right behind his head, and then just like boom, all the same. Like if you watch like all the guys who are like dominating on tour, like that's how they're doing it. They're like creating that swing slot, and then they're just like off their head. And like you've already naturally got ball speed, you've got a high backswing, and your rep rate's naturally high. I mean, I don't say that. I don't know how high, but it's pretty high. So you got like all the tools like there. You're smart enough. I just gotta like do it. Like, put it together. And that's the downward work. You're 17. You're like. And don't be afraid to like ask questions. Like when Brian's like talking, if you don't understand like why you're doing something, then that's like helps you learn. Because like that's how I learn. If I don't understand like why I'm doing something, then it probably drives Brian nuts. But don't be afraid to like be like why, or can you explain it a little better? Because like as like coaches, like it's our job to say things like 8 different ways. Saying the same thing 8 different ways until like one of those ways clicks. So don't be afraid to ask. It doesn't mean you're dumb. Just like it's to help you.
But it doesn't mean that we have to stop what we're doing. You can ask later. I'm just saying. Because if you don't, sometimes we'll actually have you do it, and then when it's done, then we can talk about it. Because sometimes your body has to feel it first. It's a little bit different when you become a more advanced bowler. Because then you have more of a feeling of what things are supposed to be. But when you're just kind of learning, you know, almost everything you do is going to feel uncomfortable. Where if you are a more advanced bowler, you can change things and make them become natural really quick. But you haven't gotten there yet. So there's a little bit of a balance that we have to keep, you know, with that. Now, one thing I did notice while I'm looking here, you get here, there's a significant drop in everything when you get into your slide. See how you're leaning forward, so your head kind of drops almost out of. So actually, I'm kind of not surprised that you accelerate to the bottom.
Do you think he does that because he's like so out of time? Like if he was more in time, do you think that's like a way to compensate for like the extra momentum coming through?
No, I think it's something he's used to doing, because he was only working on his release. So at the point when you get into the point where you're working on just release, you are used to having to pull your body into position and then releasing it. So, you know, there's a significant, it'd be different. You can drop down a little bit. But the problem is that when he's dropping, he's also dropping forward. See right there?
It's at the waist, not the...
Right. So you've almost got to hit up on the ball, and that moves your release point forward. So you're going to release it what we call later. So instead of right there at your leg, releasing it there, you're going to release it here because you're leaning forward. You've almost got to hit up on it to really get it going this way. So you're actually hitting up on it, where if you're a little bit further up, then it's like, you know, you have a shoot. It's like going like that.
So like if you want drills for some of this, like in terms of the body position thing, one-step drills are like perfect for that, because you can feel like, all right, I've got this. That's a great way to like learn timing, and that's a great way to fix that body position if you're like into doing drills. For your footwork, for like the crossover step, this is how I did it when I was like working on my footwork. I started from the front back, so I did 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, up 4 step, and then, but the whole time I was just like, and I'd like watch it and like make sure I was doing it right, because I wanted to like visually see what it looks like while I'm feeling it. So that's all I'd be thinking about. I'd be like, all right, that's good. I'd be like, that's right in front, that's where I want it. And I'd be like, this is what that feels like. And just like, I do it like over and over, like hundreds of times, until I like had to feel like down pat, where like every time I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd like record myself some, and then do it without looking, being like, okay, on camera it looks good without looking at it. And then I'd do that like hundreds of times, until it was like down pat. You don't have to be like that anal about it, like that's fine. Then like if you want to drill, that's a good way to do it. The 1 step's would be a really good way to continue your timing. Because if you're like here and you're like still going down on it, you know it's like not good. If you're like here and you're just stepping and coming through, then you're like that's pretty good. And you can like maybe Brian can show you like where maybe it should be if you're doing like a 1 step, where your like arm should be in relation to your like foot as you're like pulling it or like sliding into it. But that'd be a good way to do it too.
Your follow through will tell you, you know, how much force is in your swing. So if you can see your follow through, that's why we can always tell if you're really kind of forcing it. Your follow through is like, or if you can sit there and just kind of, then you're going to actually really snap through it, and you're going to be able to really kind of, it allows you also to have time to project it with your legs. Where if you're really, really strong, if you see your follow through being strong like that, I mean, you're really skipping through the zone. So see, the zone is usually about this big. So as you don't slide, so it's even harder to get into the zone, because at that point, then you're stepping. You got to make sure you step horizontal this way, and you got to make sure the ball is coming down here. And as you're stepping forward, you need to carry it.
Yeah, like if your slide was like 2.5 feet long, your swing would probably be in an okay position. But you don't slide very much.
Yeah.
So it needs to be. If you get that high, it just needs to get there like so it's coming down as you're sliding.
If they're going to invest, if you ever decide you're going to invest in a bowling ball, don't. invest in a new pair of shoes. I would. If you can't slide in them. I don't know if you can or not. I remember at one point in time, you couldn't slide in them. So if you can't slide in those shoes, I would invest in another pair of shoes because it's more important than a bowling ball. Because you can do more as far as where your game is right now. For you to implement a slide would would help you a lot because it's going to give you a little bit more wiggle room.
Your arsenal right now is like fine. I think you need your fit check eventually. But like,
I know we're throwing a lot of information at you.
are we like making sense? Like, are you like getting like why we're saying this?
I'll get it if I listen to it.
Do you think it's
Not
the
like
more you
getting
hear
what
it
we're
though?
saying, but getting like why we're trying to say these things. That's almost just as important.
See, that's where you're losing leverage right there. So your release comes from here to here, when it really should be this right here should be from here to here.
So get up on that line real quick. Stop the ball with your foot. Just like get up there and go. So we're talking about like loose swings and everything and creating a slot. If I sit like just like this, or my hips are out of the way, right? So if I swing the ball, it's gonna just go straight back. If I get there and I'm just like, all right, you see how fast that was rotating? Now, if I get there and I do the exact same thing, and I get there, I actually get out of the way.
I was about to say you want him to catch this.
So this one, I'm gonna be here, create the same leverage. You see how much like faster that went, and how much longer it was spinning? I was like shoving it through the front from part of the space. You see how much like leverage I like lost like on the ball because I was pulling through it. I was creating ball speed all with my arm, and you can see how much like further exercise. That's like what we're trying to get rid of. We're just trying to get your swing. My point would have been better if my ball had come back. But we're trying to get your swing smooth enough that when you go to throw it, you're able to create that.
Get on that.
Five-layer burrito. Well, the thing of it is, it's all good information. It kind of revolves. So we get it in there, then it starts to spin. As we start adding, as we start talking about the stuff that we just talked about, as you hear it more and more, it's going to start to make more sense. So if you can just get an inkling of what we're talking about, because you're hearing it from two different angles, so that's actually enhancing it.
If you like have a chance, go home and watch Don Barrett, and watch like his upper body, and watch where he gets in the swing while he's like. Just like watch, you can see like, and start to see like where his body position is, where he finishes sliding in relation to his arms. Like that'll like get you to visually see like, all right, this is like kind of how it has to look like. I said Don Barrett because his match is Jason Sterner, another one.
I like Sterner.
What?
You don't know who Jason's?
He shot 299 on his first TV show. He's really good. He's one of my favorite bullies.
I think he's more in line with you. He kind of forces, not forces, but he looks like he forces right there at the bottom.
He first time I met him, made a short joke.
He made a short joke?
I made a short joke.
Oh.
About him.
Is he that short?
Yeah, he's like there on like hip height.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I made fun of all three of them. Same joke. Same like right in front of them.
That means that he's not a nice person.
It's funny. They don't think it's funny. I hope it's like.
No, it is.
Making sense.
So that's why you really, really almost got to go, because you're so used to it really thank you, you're really kind of over accelerating the swing. That's why you really have to almost go in slow motion. Think slow motion, it won't be. Trust me, it won't be. It'll be a little bit faster. But, you know, for now, as just a drill, you want to just kind of almost go into, as you look at his swing, it's a lot different than what yours is, where you see a visible acceleration right there at the bottom. Where his is more of the same speed throughout the whole swing. So go ahead and try it. Throw a couple.
When I start accelerating through, I'm over scared. Like if I get here and I start rolling,
Yours kind of does. That's what yours does, except for you do it more.
and that was one of my like not bad shots. Like sometimes when I really pull on it, it's like up here and like this, and I throw like 2 miles an hour slower and like get around it a lot, force it right. All bad things on a house shot. All bad. Oh yeah.
That's why sometimes your ball kind of hooks really early, because you're really kind of hitting up on it. Even though, and when you throw it harder, it starts hooking earlier. So, okay, go ahead and get a couple, and then you should probably have something to eat. Slow motion. It'll make you really let you know when you release it late, too. Let you go ahead and eat.
You guys got freezers? You can get Slurpees. Like this big, for like $1.50.